Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Southwest Bias, brought to you by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious accident, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. And we are live from Studio K, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today for free by downloading that Circle K app. Drove into the building today. We're in downtown Phoenix. No, I won't give you the address. I don't need visitors. But we're in downtown Phoenix. And as I came in, the usual route I go was blocked off by multiple fire trucks. I think I counted like 7 fire engines, a bunch of other trucks, some emergency vehicles. And I thought, well, this isn't good. In fact, this is obviously an emergency. And there was a fire in the building across the street from us. One that obviously they could not ignore in any way, shape, or form. One that took more than 2 firemen and a hose to put out. One that I don't know what caused it, but I know it caused serious problems. The Arizona Cardinals are right on the precipice of that happening. Yesterday on the program, I talked to you about how Monti Ossenfort reportedly hadn't talked to Kyler Murray. I said, not a big deal, but it sounds like the start of something that could become a big deal. By yesterday afternoon, Fox Sports had released an article that I think kind of set the fire, that started the fire burning more than it was yesterday. It was, quote, NFL Confidential. Kyler Murray wants clean split from, quote, frustrated Cardinals. And it talks about how Kyler's camp prefers to cut him. I told you that was what was going on yesterday. It goes on somehow talking about how the Cardinals apparently, according to a team source, are frustrated with Kyler Murray and his work ethic. We're officially at the point where this is going to get ugly. That this narrative is going to get out of control, that things are going to start spinning in a direction that will not help the Arizona Cardinals. We even saw it already. This was earlier, I believe it was late yesterday. Chris Carter, former Minnesota Vikings wide receiver, on his podcast said this.
If they let him go, they will be back in the NFC West basement again.
Listen, sir. I'm going to tell you something that you've never heard before, okay, about the Arizona Cardinals. They have one of the worst ownership groups. They do not know what they're doing. And I couldn't say this for a long time because my kid was playing out there, Fitzgerald. But now he's first ballot Hall of Famer. Now I can let go. They're awful. The way they do things is awful. He was lucky to survive his career there. But Arizona, I think when Kurt Warner went into the Hall of Fame, they offered him the Bidwell's jet. You can take the jet to Canton and come back.
That was it.
That's it. That's it.
Sad, bro. Sad.
First off, let's be clear. The Cardinals never left the basement, really. They got like a one-day pass to ride the elevator during that Super Bowl run, and then a couple years later with Carson Palmer, but then they went straight back down that elevator. And in a couple cases, without the actual elevator cart, they just fell down the shaft right back into the basement. Second off, you're not telling us anything we didn't already know. Like Chris Carter, let me come in here. Let me tell you a secret. The sky's blue, and people don't think the Cardinals ownership is very good. Yeah, I mean that's accurate. That is 100% true. And we're at the point, I think there's only one solution to this. There's only one way to just get this over with. Just cut Kyler Murray today if you're Monti Ossenfort. Just say, you know what, we're done. We're not going to play the games. We're not going to sit here and let your camp say this and people say that about you. No, we're done. You are a free agent. Go ahead. Go to the Vikings. We're announcing that we're going to cut you when the league year officially starts. When we can, it's over. Then the stories don't matter because Kyler's camp doesn't have to force their way into anything. Release him now and be done with it. Because whatever 6th round conditional pick you're hoping to get from the Jets or somebody else isn't going to be worth the amount of crap that I think is about to come from Kyler's camp to try to force the hand. And sure, even after that, maybe it'll still happen in an article, but at least it can't be, well, they held us hostage as they tried to find a deal that was never going to be there. We simply wanted an opportunity for our client to go make his money, and they were trying to prevent that and keep him from choosing where his next landing spot was. Screw it. Don't unless you have a deal done right now with somebody that we don't know about, just cut his ass because it's not worth it. I tried to defend Kyler at times because the amount of talent that this man has is undeniable in a lot of ways. The freak athleticism is there. The way he could play improvisationally like a jazz musician was spectacular to watch. But I'm not sure Kyler Murray ever was fully bought in on football. And I understand if the Cardinals are frustrated with him. I'd be frustrated too if I took you number 1 overall and then all sorts of things happen. Yeah, some of that blame can be on the Cardinals and who was around him and all that. You always can go down that path. But the player's the guy that's got to make the most of it. And yeah, the video game clause was a joke, a black eye. But guess what? The fact that you had to think that way says a lot about the player too. At this point, we already know that they have no problem going scorched earth. We talked about it yesterday. That letter that they sent when they were trying to negotiate a new contract for him, and his agent released that publicly. They are not afraid to make things messy, to get in the mud to get what they want. So just get out of it. Everybody wants to try to have an amicable breakup in things. Everybody wants to try to make it seem like, you know what, it just didn't work out. I don't care. Sometimes you just got to get out of the bad relationship. Sometimes you just need to run. Just go. And we're at that point. Just go. Give him the ability to pick what he thinks is his softest landing spot to try to figure out his career and move on. Just focus on what you're going to do and how you're going to get there. Because a 6th or 7th round pick isn't going to change your fortunes. But if Kyler Murray goes scorched earth, if a guy like Malik Willis starts hearing all this stuff about you and has second thoughts about whether he wants to sign, or Kirk Cousins or whoever the hell it is, that's problematic. And for those of you that are sitting here saying, oh, well, you got to tank for Arch Manning. Do you remember what Eli Manning did and the Manning family did when he was going to go to San Diego? And they said, we're not going there. We want New York. So they forced their way out. You don't think that Arch Manning and his family would pull the same thing, especially if it gets uglier with a Kyler situation? Right now, this is the breakup, the cliche breakup that you watch on television or in movies where one starts throwing the clothes of the other out onto the lawn. Everybody can see everything. There goes the underwear. There's the dirty hamper. Don't let it get to that point. Take control of the situation right now. Cut it off at the knees. You're no longer our problem. Enjoy whatever you want. We don't need to have that meeting that you're claiming that we were going to have. We don't need to talk anymore. You are no longer a member of the Arizona Cardinals. We will eat that cash because you know what? It ain't working and we screwed up. So best of luck to you wherever you're going, but we are done right here, right now, because we have so many things to focus on. Wasting our energy and time and concern about what you're going to say next to the media or what your representatives are going to leak or sources are going to tell X, Y, and Z, we're not playing that game. We're out. Because you are not going to win a war of words if you're the Arizona Cardinals. Because, well, Chris Carter thinks that is a secret that he's breaking to you, that the Cardinals aren't a very good organization. That is the mindset of everybody out there. And whether they're trying to change that or not, it doesn't matter. Reputation is reality for a lot of people, and the reputation's there. So you don't need anything else to pile on that. Just move on. Worry about figuring out who's going to go at number 3. Worry about who's going to be your quarterback for the next year or two. Worry about how you put Mike LaFleur in the best position to win rather than putting him in the center of a 3-ring circus. Even if it's for the next 2 weeks, it's not worth it. Cut bait and run at this point. Because the leak to Josh Weinfuss about not talking with Monty, everything that's in this Fox News NFL Confidential article, you don't need the distraction. Just move on. Do it today because it's your best bet to be able to stay out of the mud at this point. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Are you really going to turn a 6th or 7th round pick into a guy that's going to have a major impact on your franchise? We rarely, if ever, see it in the NFL. Don't hold out on it. It's a pipe dream as it sounds anyways, in terms of everybody at the combine, all the insiders. They don't seem to think you can actually make a trade. So don't bother with it. Be done. Be out of the Kyler Murray business, because a messy divorce does nothing but put you behind the 8 ball even further. So before Kyler starts throwing your laundry onto the ground out there for everyone to see, just move on. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the dreads behind the desk. Kevo, how are you, Kevo?
I am good. I am good, Espo. As you know, the vibes in this office have been really good today as I came in and went 7 for 10 on the mini hoop to start my day.
Well, I mean, it was after we all looked at the fire trucks and went, ooh, shiny.
Wee woo, excited.
Ooh, shiny. I went back to a 5-year-old state where I was like, ooh. I wasn't like, hey, why is there fire? Why is this building potentially burning? No, I was like, ooh, fire trucks. Yeah, that's...
Me as well. I was quite fascinated. I thought there was like some sort of market going on, so I didn't really look at first. And then when you guys were like, what are all these fire trucks doing? I was like, whoa.
What kind of market did you think it was? Like, they're selling fire trucks down there?
I didn't know there were fire trucks. I, like Derek, just saw the one police officer blocking off the way I usually get into our parking garage. And I was like, oh, must be like a market or something, like a street fair. And then I came up and looked out the window and I was like, that's not a street fair at all.
No, it was not. Is there fire where the smoke is with the Kyler Murray stuff? I tried to bring it up yesterday. I had some people saying I sat on a throne of lies. Right now, I just think I'm sitting on a whole hell of a lot of truth. But what do you make of the situation?
Man, like most divorces, it's just sad. You know what I mean? I'm just like, man, this at one point was a promising relationship that has now reached a point where you can't really salvage it, which is unfortunate because, like, you and I were talking about pre-show, it does feel like if the Cardinals were to trade Kyler Murray or if the Cardinals were to cut Kyler Murray, if they cut him, we're probably going to go watch him be successful. I won't say like go be great like Sam Darnold was, but we know he's a talented player, like you said, and he might go find success somewhere else. But if you trade him, it's likely you're not getting the best player in the trade, I would assume. If you're not
going to get a player.
No, I'm saying if you're getting a 7th round pick,
yeah.
Is that 7th round pick going to be like the level of which Kyler Murray was when he was healthy and had a somewhat competent offensive system around him? Like, it's just sad for me because as we know, and as Chris Carter tried to break the news to us, it's just not a successful organization. And until you have a successful organization, it's hard for me to believe that they can do what they need to do to win football games.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday that we're kind of the children in the divorce. And I think a lot of us as Cardinals fans are like, do we need to try to get, go to the judge and ask to be, have a new conservatorship? Can somebody else be the parental guidance around here at some point? I think that's where we're starting to get when it comes to this. It is uncomfortable. I want to say hi to all the bias in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of you. Jacob, Bees, Red Feather Workshop, TJ, Connor, Robert, Green Bongos. Glad to have each and every one of you here. And yes, Deborah, of course, is here, as well as Russ Carver and our favorite Clippers fan that just loves to come in here and troll. We appreciate you being here as well. Lots of people. Books Journey 1 says, if Kyler goes scorched earth, he'll be out of the league faster than he thinks. Teams won't want to sign him or will be looking for a replacement as soon as he arrives. I don't know. People always look at the guy, at the person coming out of the relationship going, I can fix him. I can fix him. Why not? This is a bad situation. I can fix him. I don't think that would actually be the case if that's the road we go down here. Everybody in the bias, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe or become a supporter club member by hitting that join button. For less than pretty much anything you get, that's $5 a month, you're going to unlock a super chat. You're going to unlock emojis that you can only use if you're a supporters club member. You're going to get exclusive content and more. So make sure to be a part of that. And big thank you to our Clippers fan, who I think is probably the one that hit the dislike button. On the other side of halftime, oh, we've got a special treat. It's Bo and Johnny live from Indy right after this. No, that's not Kevin playing with Matchbox cars behind the desk. That is Phoenix Raceway, where NASCAR and NTT IndyCar are going to be on the same track, on the same weekend, the same day, not the same time. Safety first, don't you forget it. But it's the first time in history that they're doing this, and you're going to get to experience it at Phoenix Raceway, the most interesting and beautiful venue in all of Arizona sports. You can't miss it when you're out there. It's in the side of a mountain. You can actually sit in the mountain. You can get seats in the mountain, but it's not just that. You're going to get the best access in not just motorsports, but let's be honest, in all of sports. You're going to go inside the garage. You're going to walk the track. You're going to meet the drivers, and you're going to catch a pre-race concert. Why would you not want to be there? I mean, it's the best. No sport's going to bring you closer when you upgrade to that Desert Diamond infield experience. So make sure to click the link in our show notes and get your tickets now, because they're going faster than the cars themselves. And Window Depot, it's not just a window store. No, it is so much more. I keep having to explain this to people. They hear Window Depot and they think all I'm going to be able to get is windows. And that's true. You can get great windows there. Our friend Leah, the head of content here, who's been on the program before, she's looking for new windows. I said, hey, Window Depot's where to go. But if you're looking to upgrade your bathroom, your kitchen, your flooring even now, you can do that. Flooring already in the Tucson store, going to be in the other 6 stores around the state shortly. But you can get countertops. You can get the cabinets, everything that you need to make that home improvement project that much better. It's loved by contractors, but loved by individual people as well. And the best part, you can order online and pick up in store. It makes it super easy and convenient. So make sure to head to thewindowdepot.com and get your next project started today. Oh, a big thank you to our halftime act. We ran out of funds for today's halftime act, so we had to have one of those racing Chihuahua acts in honor of Kyler Murray. They were a little yippy though. But
no
thank
Chihuahua
you.
Hate. Stop Chihuahua hate.
I mean, I don't hate Chihuahuas. I just bringing it up. Thank you for enjoying that halftime show. Become a diehard member today. We got our diehard sale going on, $36. You're going to unlock Fran Duffy's draft guide, the best draft guide in all the NFL. He's been out there at Combine all week getting all the inside details. Plus, you're going to get a shirt. It essentially pays for itself, but that's not all. You're going to get 20% off of the draft party that's coming up, where you can hang out with the 2 coolest guys in Cardinals media, Noah and I. And Bo and Johnny will be there too. Let's welcome in Bo and Johnny live from the Combine. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you for, saving money on the halftime show so Johnny could get all those steak dinners out here in Indy.
I still don't believe you finished
dominated
it.
my steak, by the way.
I don't believe you finished.
I can confirm that.
It's so great. We get to retire this bit. It's one of my favorite things.
Now it's the green bean bit because there was about 34 green beans on the plate.
Can I just say they might have been over salted? That's
Wow.
why I didn't eat them. So,
Okay, yeah, blame the high-end steakhouse. It's
wasn't a
always
capacity thing
delivering
at
on the
all.
food.
Green beans
I'm
suck.
feeling a
Let's
lot
make
better
that clear.
Feeling a lot better about those green beans than I am this sort of overall pick right now as it relates to some of the options, but we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's start here with the Kyler Murray situation that we are currently in the middle of. It seems like this has got it seems like it's on the precipice of getting ugly. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but just the way that some of this, I don't know, war of words isn't fair, but these leaks that are starting to come out, it certainly feels like to me that Kyler's camp is simply trying to make it where he gets cut sooner rather than later, instead of potentially the unlikely trade actually happening.
I don't think that his camp needs to do anything to push that. I think that the contract already kind of makes that a near inevitability. I think that's just the unfortunateness of the deal that was signed and what the future guarantees are. And like if it was Kyler Murray and he had 1 year left on his deal of a high number, maybe you could pay that down. But the unfortunate thing of this whole reality is there's a 2027 guarantee that's nearly $20 million that I don't think anybody wants to pay for. And as far as the league, they're willing to call their bluff and have the Cardinals outright release him. Very similar to what happened with DeAndre Hopkins, very similar to what happened at the quarterback situation in Denver with Russell Wilson. So, it might look like it's trending towards that after things being so quiet. But, Espo, this was if you've been paying attention, everybody's been paying attention to this. Yesterday, that story from Fox was not new news, right? I mean, of course a player is going to want to be cut and choose his own destiny.
Wow, breaking news.
Right, instead of be traded wherever the team can get the best deal. And then, as far as what Monti Ossenfort said at the podium a couple days ago, I just feel like these are reaches of stories. I don't think there's any new news or any indication that things are going to get ugly. I do anticipate, once he's gone, he's with his new team, like that, introductory press conference, there might be something said. There might be something once he's out of it. But everybody's playing amicably right now because they all want the same thing, it feels like.
Are they playing amicably, Leo? Because what's the point in somebody in his camp saying that they hadn't talked to Monti Ossenfort at all when Monty, in my opinion, didn't really even say that they had talked. It all felt like a stretch, and the only reason you do that is because somebody is trying to make a point or gain some kind of upper hand in something. That's the part that didn't make sense to me.
Well, he's not cut until he's cut, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is do we need to just continue to nudge this in the way that it's not an assurance at 100%? Maybe it's at the finish line 95 to 98%. That's what I would peg that as. And again, if you're Monti Ossenfort, we saw him yesterday, we talked to him off camera. He's got bigger fish to fry. This is inevitability. He tried to trade Kyler Murray. We reported he's been shopping him since the trade deadline last season in late October or early November. Couldn't get any takers. And they put him in bubble wrap and they said, okay, we're going to revisit this in the offseason. And I don't know if you saw this morning, there are trades going down. The Jets and the Tennessee Titans made a pretty big trade this morning. Trades can happen. Right. Why isn't a trade happening? Because everybody is looking at the Cardinals, if they have interest in Kyler Murray, and saying, we'll call your bluff. We'll make you pay that $50+ million dead cap hit. We'll sign Kyler Murray on our terms if we want him for $1 to $2 million. I'm going to tell you right now, though, I think the bigger story that is not being reported is just going to be the logical lack of options and landing spots that make sense, because everybody's connected into Minnesota. I don't know if you saw the report. They're talking about going in a different direction. We had John Middlecoff on the show saying I'd be shocked if Kyler Murray and Kevin O'Connell were to ever play together. Atlanta's got Drew Petzing ties with Stefanski. Maybe it's the Jets, maybe, but I don't know. Does Kyler Murray want to go there? Everybody that we've talked to thinks it's in Kyler's best interest to go to a Reed, a McVay, a Liam Cohen, and rebrand himself maybe as a bridge backup, and then go and hit the market maybe next year. And I don't know if he's going to do that or not. He's a proud individual, but I think that, and I could be wrong on this, Kyler Murray's market, once he is cut, it's going to take a minute to materialize.
Why not just do what the Dolphins have done and just essentially let the market know we're cutting Kyler Murray? I mean, why the song and dance to try to get a pick when it just doesn't seem real?
That's a fair point.
Yeah. I mean, we just know that this is not a team that makes moves or does any kind of negotiating in the public forum. I mean, that's just, like it or not, that's just how they operate. All right, has it worked out as a competitive advantage in any way for them? No, it hasn't. But it's just it's their preference. And also, the Dolphins GM, he just took over. He can go in there and he can say, be cavalier in how he speaks about it and what information he discloses or doesn't. Monti Ossenfort was somebody that he came in, the Kyler Murray contract was here. He was tasked with making it work with Kyler Murray, and they couldn't make it work. So a lot of the responsibility falls on his shoulders. So I think as far as opening up that conversation doesn't do them much good.
let's get away from the Kyler situation. You guys are out there in Indy for the combine. What's the latest on the Cardinals, the number 3 pick, and what have you liked that has been said out there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to say like there's not a lot to like, but there's just a lot of uncertainty right now. I would have thought, and we still have on-field workouts, that after this week, like it's going to be cemented between like maybe like 2 to 4 guys. I think this Ruben Bain arm length situation is real. And with the Arizona Cardinals, they are so.
Have you fill in Espo on this?
Yeah,
real quick,
so Ruben,
in the audience.
Ruben Bain, who's a draft darling for everybody here, he was phenomenal. He's a pass rusher for Miami. I think he's probably one of the best 5 players in this draft, and somebody that the Cardinals should consider. His arms were measured today, and they're under 31 inches long. And there has not been an edge rusher. Let's forget the 3rd overall pick, drafted in the top 100 in I don't know how many years, 30 years, 25 years, where that individual got drafted with sub 31-inch arms. And his arms are historically small.
Can you give like a?
I mean, like, estimate? I don't need to do that. Like I'm sure my arms aren't, half that size. But when you think about for the Arizona Cardinals specifically, at the end of the day, for Monti Ossenfort, what he likes, the RAS scores, the metrics, the workouts combined with the tape, I don't know if you're going to get that this year, Bo.
Right. No, look, I mean, those are baby T-Rex arms, right? And you're trying to figure that out. That's unprecedented. And at 3 overall, you don't want to have that big of a red flag. But everything else matches up for Bain as far as the production, the tape, the guy. We talked to him yesterday. He eats, he breathes, he sleeps football. Or do you have to pivot and so let's go with a safe pick, even though it's way too early to take one of these tackles. But there's just like what we're talking about the quarterback position, so much lack of clarity. You're trying to like say what direction could they realistically go here, and even though you're gonna be like, damn it, I sent those guys out for 4 days, they didn't get any kind of like new answers or definitive answer as far as the 3rd overall pick. But that's just reality as we're exiting Indy here.
Why does this always come as a surprise, these guys' measurements? Like, is it not pretty obvious that a guy would have small arms when you're watching film, you're around him? Like, is it just simply that you have the exact measurement? That always surprises me at the combine. Guy has tiny arms, his career's over, and that comes out at the combine rather than the 4 years he was in college that nobody picked up on that.
I just feel like there's not a traditional blue chip player that plays a premium position in this draft. Like if Jeremiah Love's a blue chipper or Caleb Downs is a blue chipper, this team, based on people we talked to, not necessarily in my opinion, can't afford to take a running back or certainly a safety 3rd overall. Like we're looking at the tackles. They're much more suited to play right tackle, but are they surefire top 5, base value picks? And then you have these edge rushers like Vel Rees, who is not rush the passer nearly enough. That is too much of a tweener, but you love his attributes. You love the university. You love the mindset. I like the intrigue. This is going to go down to the wire right now for this team.
It is. And this is coming down to the wire too, Espo. We got Mina Kimes waiting to join us here on set here in Indianapolis. So we're excited about that. We have Field Yates that we talked to about the 3rd overall pick and Trevor Sikkema. So many great guests out here.
It's all right. I can get bumped for Mina Kimes. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the time. Much appreciated.
See ya.
Go ahead and take care of something much more important. They are Johnny and Bo. You can watch them on PHNX Cardinals coming up at 2:30 today, I believe, on the PHNX YouTube page. All the latest information from Combine, including Mina Kimes. There are a lot of people that I'm all right getting bumped for, and Mina Kimes would be one of them. So glad to have the boys on the program. I do want to get to one thing, and it's not football, but if you will indulge me, Suns-Lakers tonight. And our old friend DeAndre Ayton last night played a game and said this as he was going to the locker room. He said, "They're trying to turn me in or make me Clint Capella," as they were losing to the Magic. DeAndre Ayton, you should be lucky to be Clint Capella. You should be lucky to be Clint Capella in your career. A guy that works his ass off, that was respected, got paid lots of money, and is still playing in the league. The head case of all this. I mean, they got to put a special message on his water bottle according to a report that the same report that they have to put some message so he gets fired up on his water. But what is this? My 9-year-old's lunchbox? Like, I'm cool with writing her notes, but this is a grown man playing in the NBA, and you got to write a special message on his water bottle to try to get him to put effort out there.
27 years old, by the way.
My God, it's just pathetic. That I defended the thought of picking him, but that was the biggest mistake in Arizona sports history. I'm going to go on record as it. And we're going to watch, can Mark Williams dominate him tonight? We will be talking about all that on the PHNX Suns pregame show. Join us 6:30. Myself, Gil, and Eric Stephen will be out at the morgue tonight, so check that out. A big thank you to Kevo, the dreads behind the desk. You can follow him at Kevo Post. You can follow me at Espo. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports. And remember, leave the drama for your mama. Cut Kyler Murray. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.